Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Today, I have a very, very, very good guest. His name is Bogdan. He's my cousin from Canada. I spoke about him on some of my videos. So, the ones that who watch my videos probably heard me mentioning him being in Canada. So, his name is Bogdan. We're going to have a, how should I put it, mild conversation on immigration. I know immigration is such a big topic, and he immigrated in Canada legally. I immigrated in United States legally, so we have our own experiences. Now, since I invited him here, I would like to hear his um, take on legal immigration and illegal immigration. As we know, a country has borders, and the citizens that are within those borders should have a say in who comes in and how they come in. So that's why I always make a difference between legal and illegal. So I will allow Bogdan to tell us his point of view on the social issues in Canada, political issues in Canada, and economic issues in Canada related to immigration.
So thank you for giving me the chance to have this conversation, and I really believe that it is valuable for people and societies to understand more about immigration because it's changing lives. This is an important decision for people that leave their countries as far as for the people that receive these immigrants. So it's a topic that has a lot of ramifications, and I think that, for example, immigrants can provide a very valuable insight about the phenomenon. Also, regarding immigration, uh, Canada is a leader, is by far a leader. It's 1.2, 1.3% per year of the entire population is received in Canada, which means that basically in United States, 5 million immigrants would be received legally per year. And in Canada, there isn't too much conversation about legal and illegal. Uh, and I think that eventually illegal immigration creates a lot of problems for not only for the hosting nation, but also for the people that arrive as immigrants because they will have a lot of problems. And I'm not sure that this is the way one would like to live their life in that kind of situation. Now, regarding Canada, um, to in all fairness, I didn't hear in 20 years an open conversation about the the benefits, the drawbacks. It's very superficial. It's like we Canadians, we all agree with immigration. We know that we need immigrants. But eventually, if you go deeper, there doesn't seem to be a conversation about it, and I think it would be important. Now, as Emil said, the economic aspect that is given, for example, in Canada, is always related to the fact that we are lacking skills on a labor force, and that's why we need immigrants. Then another reason that for which immigration is paramount to the economy of Canada is that there are a lot of baby boomers that get to the retirement, and in order to continue uh, the economic safety for our people, we would need new blood to pay for immigration, for retirement. Now there is also some social aspect, which pretty much is if it's the liberals or the lefties in power, and they tend to be in schools, they tend to be in universities, they tend to be in the media. Uh, uh, the immigration is not a subject of conversation because they claim that this is a right. Everyone has the right to immigrate, so why should we even talk about if it's good, it's bad? It's a right. Also, obviously, from this point of view, on the political level, the liberals have the interest to bring as many people as possible and make them vote liberal. Now, what would you think about this, and how?
Well, I would start regarding the immigration as a term. As I said, it should be controlled by the nation, by the citizens. Citizens, that's the key word of the country, the host country that will allow the immigrants to come in. And that's uh, the terms should be set by the citizens and their elected officials that are supposed to work in the interest of the citizens. And I have a problem with people coming, bursting in the house without being invited, and the ones who come after you vetted them. So I think it's a subject, it's a matter of justice to some people cut the line and gets in without being invited, and the other one waits for his or her time and jumps through all the hoops. That's one thing. And indeed, economically, the big business I think benefits from legal or illegal immigration, because I think we immigrants, when we come in a country, we tend to depress the wages, because we come with, well, most of the time, nothing, and we would sell our work for much less than a native, a person born here and living here, already having a mortgage, a payment for a car, and so on. Whereas we come with for nothing. All we do, we just get an apartment, maybe 10 people in one apartment, 3-room apartment, and we pay nothing for that food. So the natives cannot compete economically in the job market with us. Politically, immigrants tend to vote liberal at the beginning, and as time passes, they turn to the right. I'm talking about, thinking, hey, what, it's not right. Why? Because they're gonna switch place with the natives, where they have a mortgage, they have an house, they have payments. So when someone comes with nothing, that threatens his position, his job. So then they tend to obviously protect their whatever they got. So they will not accept immigrants again with nothing. They would challenge them. Um, I don't know exactly what. I mean, I used to have the numbers of how many come in and how many go out, and then the proportions. But I know that the proportions from the areas, like for instance, I knew how many, or the proportions of immigrants coming, let's say, from Africa versus the immigrants coming from Asia versus the immigrants coming from Europe. I think the basics rule of thumb should be, who's coming, you vet that person. Now, do you happen to know what the uh, cultural impact on the Canadian economy the immigrants, legal or illegal, have?
Oh, I think here is another important reason why immigration is so important, because it has a cultural impact. Like, you go back uh, tens to 20 years, 30 years ago, the idea of a country was linked with the idea of a nation. So basically, okay, you got immigration in a country, but eventually that person would fit into a nation, and the nation would have certain characteristics. Uh, it wasn't thought, a country was not thought as an economic enterprise. There are multiple links between the people, and some links come from them belonging to some cultural values of their ancestors, like families. And in this way, immigration poses a lot of threats to some very important concepts, like nation, like what means to what does it mean to belong to a certain cultural uh, uh, heritage. And in Canada, I can say that it's very difficult to define what a Canadian is anymore. Like in various areas such as Toronto, the number of first time immigrants, meaning the people that arrive in Canada and they are a first generation, they are more than 50%. Now the second generation, which are the kids of this, are another 20%. So what exactly is a Canadian then, and how are these these concepts going to flow in the future? What's going to be the language of a country? What's going to be the religion of a country? You can say everything is free, but then what keeps us together? Then why even having countries? Why Canada? Why United States? Why not one continent, one American continent? So there are a lot of questions, I think, that really require thinking. And when policies are created, it's not only economy that has an impact.
As an example, if I wait for that one, I guess. Um, as an example is, for instance, it's a very easy example. Let's say you have a lot of Japanese immigrating coming here, let's say United States or in Canada, and as you know, they drive on the left side of the road. And if you're going to have a lot of them in certain communities, they might, the first generation, might say that's a cultural thing and that should be changed. And we have to be flexible and we should have to do that. Now, let's say you have countries where, let's say, you have polygamy. Polygamy as being as the cultural thing. Once you have a big community of a nation that brings that as a cultural trend, what are you going to do? Are you going to adjust your culture or the country's culture to that? Then what are you going to do if I have a certain kind of culture, you have a certain kind of culture, which is the assimilating culture, you know, and that's going to be a debate. That's why it should be controlled and you have to agree to certain kind of values. Um, we are about to finish due to time, I would say, because we can go on and on and on with this. Do you have anything else to add as a closing?
Yes, I would say that if you are interested in this subject from other perspectives too, from the perspective of a person that is thinking about immigration, or from the perspective of a person that what can we do in order to know more about how to limit immigration or how to make it better for the immigrants, please leave some comments, and we could try to think a little bit more on that specific questions that you may have.
It's ultimately is a preference, but it's a preference of a culture. And if you have a majority, subscribing to that culture, what they're gonna do with the minority, and then it's anyway. Diversity is our strength here in America. I guess it's the same in Canada. Anyway, well, thank you very much for being with us today. Leave your comments below if you have any, and questions. We're gonna try to answer those. And as I said, we can talk days regarding this. We're gonna try to make some more videos on this topic or other. For now, this is the first video we made together. So, as always, stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.